You know, I got this weird thought a few minutes ago, and it was, did gaming just fall off in general? You know, I saw my guy Kenny tweet out something along the lines of, oh, 2K is dead, and, you know, tell me something new, right? 2K's been dead for the past 6 years. But then somebody in the replies was like, you know, that's kind of how it seems with everything. Like, you know, COD, Assassin's Creed, FIFA all seem tired out. And it's another dude says it's because how many more World Wars can people take? And I'm like, you know what? I'm starting to understand that makes a lot of sense. Like, you know, it's a common theme. And because I'm a guy who like really just sticks with 2K, I haven't really pondered this thought about other games because of how dead 2K has been, but it's really been in just about every game. Like Assassin's Creed has died, Call of Duty has died, Madden has died, Fortnite even died. You know, and something that really gets to me still to this day, and it's a theory that I've had with 2K for a very long time, but one that I'm starting to realize is actually towards all games, is that the reason why these games have came to such a halt in the past 10 or so years, aside from the fact that people of my age are just losing their nostalgia towards these games and moving on with their lives and realizing they don't feel like spending their time on these anymore, is that the games have focused too much or depended too much on the graphical stuff to progress their games forward, make it seem like they're improving to the fan bases, when in reality the people turn on the game, say, oh, cool graphics, and then are like, huh, but how about the game? You know, the last great 2K, since I know so much about the game, was 2K16, when, you know, the last one that people were like, oh wow, this is really one of the greatest, and the one that people say is the greatest one of all time. And it wasn't just that they made good graphics, because they had good graphics in 14, 15. Sure, they took the next step, and I guess they took another step the next. It hasn't got much better since. And then what happened was, well, we'll talk about the PS5s in a second. But in 16, they added back this mode and made it better even from 2K11, where they had the thing called the crew, and you could take your 5 people, your 5 of your friends, and start a team together, and they made it called Pro-Am. And it changed everything. But guess what modes they've added since then? None. They've added nothing substantial. They made a city, a big city that nobody cares about. They had a draft mode into My Team, then they removed the draft mode, brought it back. You know, one of my favorite pastimes is actually playing My Team on 2K. I know the cards that I get are going to go away next year, and I might waste $100 or so on packs throughout the year just because I'm trying to have fun with my life. But it's not because 2K is a fantastic revolutionary basketball franchise like they were 7 years ago. It's because I just like basketball. And that's why someone would still play Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed or any of these games, because you just like the concept of the game. But the games nowadays, not only are they tried and or tired out because of the fact that people have been playing them for the past 10 years, it's because nothing has changed with them. None of them have tried to implement anything new, and specifically towards the sports games like 2K, because they actually have the opportunity to do so. What I mean by that is, okay, how much can you really do to an Assassin's Creed aside from ruin it and continually just get worse and worse ever since Ezio died? Although I did kind of like the past, I don't know, 3 of them, except that last one with the Vikings. I like the 3 before that or something like that. It's like with 2K, you could actually do something that's like, you know, I think one year they added in like a bungee court where you could like fly into the air after jumping on the floor. That was so stupid. Who wants to do that? No, actually, they did just add in a new mode in My Team where you can pick 5 players, and it's a 4th quarter scenario where it's just a crunch time of the game, and then like if you win, you advance and blah blah blah. That's actually smart, and it only took them 6 years, but yeah, that's about it. But it's not some sort of revolutionary achievement, but nonetheless, I guess at the end of the day, you could also pose the question that maybe it's not the developers' fault that they can't advance the game any further. It's just the fact that they can't advance the game any further. But I think what really messed up gaming recently too is the disappointment in the new generation consoles. I know if you don't have one, you want one because you want to just try the stuff out. But in reality, most people who got these new generation consoles played the new Spider-Man, played some of whatever sports game they enjoy, and then turned it off. Because unlike the PS3 to PS4, there's no major graphical improvement to where we really even care, and there's no major gameplay improvement to where anybody cares. And that's where I get back to my point too. It's ironic or coincidental, or it's notable that the most popular game of the past 2 years was a game with 2 little blobs, where all it was to have controversy with friends without the controversy, I guess. You know, Among Us, it was nothing intricate. You just click a button to kill people, do some task, report the body, and yell. Granted, that fell off too, because how much can you really do with that either? But yeah, basically you're seeing the trend here, right? Is gaming falling off? Is there any saving it aside from those little one-off games like an Among Us, or like the past few months with the crab game that based off the Squid Game? So it's like, you know, kids of my era, or I guess adults now, whatever, people of my era, yeah, we came up with computer games was like regular Flash games that you would play with your friends, and then like the Club Penguin era and the I don't know, the PS2 era. I got the PS2 sitting right over here. We got all these eras of gaming, and it's eventually built up to a beautiful point, but it kind of plateaued for the past 5 years, and it's like, can it really go any further? You could also be like, oh well, you know, it seems like the next step in gaming, which is a stupid step, but it would be, you know, like, oh, maybe it's maybe like, you know, like holograms or something, or that'll pop up on your wall and it's interactive, kind of like VR. I see my dog Berlizzi doing all the VR stuff all the time. I don't know if that's, I don't really, but that's just it. I don't know if I really want to do that. It probably is the next step, but then again, you also saw how much the Xbox Connect failed, and I guess the Xbox Connect and the PS Now or whatever the hell, or the, I don't know, the thing with the PS Move, I guess those failed because they just sucked as well. And you know, another trend that I realize is that the games that really suck and fall off is the games that release so annually and often. Like, let's just be honest, the best games that release are the Nintendo games. The best game that I've played personally in the past 2 years, and I know it was released a couple years prior, was Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. For about a year, I made fun of it and said it was like homelessness simulator because it was so tedious to get out of like the first 4 hours of the game. But then once you get past it, it was like the greatest game you could ever imagine. But aside from those games that take 6 years of development and sure have a little bit of nostalgia to all of them, aside from those and the little one-off games that come and go within 3 months, really all we play games for is nostalgia purposes, or because they're sports games and we like the sport. Like, is there a further evolution to this? Like with music, for example, if you get tired of Jay-Z barring you up, you could turn on something like Roddy Ricch where he has auto-tune, or anybody else that's like melodic and less words, and or just any other genre. Can video games establish that diversity, or is there really just no parallel there and it's kind of just over for them? I don't know what the hell you think. I'm not the end all be all. I'm not God, and I don't really, yeah, whatever. I'm just evoking conversation. Okay, bye. See you.